Ever since the Switch was released, we were told by Nintendo that they would eventually launch an online service that would require payment, similar to that of Xbox Live and PSN. One of the main differences is that Nintendo's online service is considerably cheaper, especially with a group of friends. But the question still remains, can they bring enough quality features to break the stereotype of providing lackluster services in the past? Let's start with the different ways to buy into the online service. As listed by Nintendo, you can pay $3.99 a month, $7.99 for 3 months, $19.99 a year for individuals, or $34.99 a year for a family membership. The family membership has become the most discussed option because you could technically gather a few trusted friends together and drastically reduce the price of the service for the year. While this is mostly pointed at families who want several accounts have the benefits of the online service, it's still an interesting alternative. Although, you need to be very careful if you decide to use this plan. The family membership has a primary admin to the family group, who essentially can control everything. They can manage who is in the group, transfer admin rights, and create restrictions for supervised accounts. If your account wasn't created as a child account and considered supervised, you'll be a general account, and won't necessarily have to worry about these restrictions. But you still need to have a trusted admin who won't ruin the experience for anyone. Essentially, just be careful taking this route. Now onto the services you get. During the beginning of this service, you'll have access to online play, many NES titles that will increase in number and provide online play, save data backup to the cloud, usage of the smartphone app, and special offers. Let's quickly go over what these mean. Online play is essentially what we have been enjoying for roughly the past year and a half. Mario Kart, Splatoon 2, and more use this feature. Gaining access to NES titles is Nintendo's approach to a virtual console on the Switch. They'll be providing 20 games at launch and expand the library as time goes on. Hopefully, this can also extend to introducing other Nintendo consoles in the future. Save data backup to the cloud is useful for when something happens to your Switch and renders your save files inaccessible. Backing up to the cloud will make sure you don't lose your hundreds of hours on Breath of the Wild and other titles. There is a large drawback to this that we will discuss, but hold that thought. Nintendo's mobile app also becomes available with the ability to voice chat with friends and enjoy special features from certain games like Splatoon 2. Special offers are a bit interesting right now. Currently, as subscribers of the Nintendo Online Service, you can get special NES-style Joy-Cons that you can use for the NES Virtual Console. While this doesn't seem like much of a special offer, I guess this lets us know that the upcoming offers could be in the form of hardware as well. The only other example I have seen so far is that you can get special outfits in Splatoon 2. So far, the special offers don't seem to be that much, and I expect to see more in the form of exclusive discounts, but time will have to tell for this one. There are many pros and cons to consider with all of these services. Starting with online play. This is an area that I am concerned with for the future. After attempting to play games like Super Smash Bros. Brawl on Wii, it shows that certain games can be rendered unplayable with peer-to-peer connections. A lot of games can and are getting away perfectly fine with this method, but all it takes is a bad connection to ruin an online experience. With Smash Ultimate on the horizon, I hope they will add some form of dedicated servers if problems arise. But as of right now, I cannot find any evidence that Nintendo is adding a system of dedicated servers with the arrival of this service. Next, the NES Virtual Console is without a doubt one of the most powerful parts of this online service. While many of us would rather purchase to own these titles, the cost per year can prove to be fairly inexpensive for the growing list of games to come. The expanding library is a huge plus, but not being able to own them outside of paying for the online is not great. Being able to play many of these titles with friends is something players always enjoy having the option to do. After spending some time in both single player and online multiplayer, it actually runs very smoothly. Probably the most satisfying part is just how quickly you can jump from game to game. It's seamless. There was very little, if any, input lag while playing, and there was a super handy feature to swap the players in single player games. This made it feel like a true couch multiplayer setting where you could pass the controller back and forth while watching your friend play their turn. I really hope they continue to adapt this into future additions to the Virtual Console scene. There have been a number of cases of people losing their save data to their Switch bricking, general corruption, or more. Quite frankly, this should have been available from the very beginning. This finally allows everyone to feel safe knowing their hours in the game won't be lost to unexpected disasters. Well, not quite. Nintendo and developers have reserved the ability to deny certain games with the ability to back up their saves, such as Splatoon 2, Pokemon Let's Go, and Dark Souls. The reasoning is based on the fear of altering save files in order to manipulate leaderboards, stats, collectibles, etc. While this reasoning is understandable to a certain degree, games like Splatoon desperately needed this option. and other consoles allow cloud saves even with the added risk. A poor move on their part. Then we come to the smartphone app. I'm not sure how many of you actually use this, but it's just simply bad. Being forced to use an external system to access features from your Switch is cumbersome and unnecessary. At this point, you could use many other refined options such as Discord. Nintendo chooses the games that support this feature, and just continues to show how unusable the app is. It's buggy, crashes at random times, and will lead to silence once you try switching to an incompatible game. I don't think the app will see much use and will continue being a sore spot for this online service. This new online service provides some good features, but mostly leaves many unnecessary issues unchecked. Do the positives outweigh the negatives and make it worth buying though? Honestly, I think it slightly does. With the expanding list of multiplayer games coming to the Switch, I'm going to be using the online play a massive amount. And the added benefit of having the NES Virtual Console is what easily makes the rest of the cons okay with me. Does this make the cons okay to continue? Absolutely not. Nintendo really needs to put the effort into refining this online experience in many ways, whether it's discarding the app or providing new features to the eShop. If you aren't interested in playing the multiplayer of Mario Kart, Smash, and many others, and you aren't interested in NES Virtual Console, then you should just give it a pass. But above all, the entry price of $20 or less a year is what makes this slightly competitive with other online services. That being said, I fully expect Nintendo to raise the price or add some sort of Game Pass clone from Xbox once they add more titles to the Virtual Console and refine the services that they offer. Let's just hope they make the right choices to make this online service more worthwhile in the future. And that's the Nintendo Online service. Be sure to like this video if it helped you out, and subscribe to see my thoughts on upcoming titles. You can check out my social media by clicking on the links in the description below, and see what other games I have in mind for reviews to come even before a video is released.